Well, we are in the original governor's office in the State House. Abraham Lincoln was in this very office when he was informed that the Electoral College had indicated that he was, in fact, the President-elect of the United States. He was meeting, I'm told, with then Governor Samuel Chase, who later became his Secretary of the Treasury. In this office is the original desk that was here when Abraham Lincoln was here.
The Historical Society.
Governor Voinovich and Governor Taft had moved the governor's office to the 30th floor of the Rife Tower building. And I made the decision upon my election that I would return to the State House. I joke and say it's so I could keep a closer eye on the legislators. But the fact is that I think this is the appropriate place for the governor to be. One of the things that concerns me about government today at every level, but especially at the federal level, is the high level of secrecy that I think is purposeful and is designed to keep the people from having access to the information they need to have in order to be good decision makers as citizens. One of the responsibilities that you have when you hold a public office is a responsibility to be accessible to the press. I think it's important for me to talk directly to the press as much as possible. I enjoy talking to the press. I don't consider the press my friend or my enemy. I respect the responsibilities of the press. Well, I know Senator Clinton very well on a personal level. I mean, we're not buddies. We don't hang out together. We don't go out and have dinner together. Her commitment to public service is in part related to her early life as a young person, deeply involved in her church and in the social teachings of the United Methodist Church. I think she's very pragmatic, and I think she is mature in her political awareness and understandings. These are really difficult times in the world and in our nation. We are bogged down in a war that seems to be consuming more and more of our resources and more of our precious young lives. We are in a situation in our nation's history where we need experienced and mature, thoughtful leaders, and I consider Senator Clinton to be such a political leader. Ohio is unique. It's one of certainly a handful of states hugely impacted, in large part because until fairly recently, Ohio had little, if any, consumer protections in place. I think these subprime lenders saw Ohio as fertile ground, and I think they did knowingly and purposefully take advantage of vulnerable people. People have suffered, are suffering, and will continue to suffer. This crisis has not bottomed out yet, and perhaps will not for quite some time. Many of these foreclosures could be prevented if we could get just reasonable help from these servicers. And they, at this point, have basically refused to do anything that is measurable or accountable. And I am hugely disappointed, and we are looking at a full range of options. I think I, as governor, am confronting many of the same circumstances that is being confronted by mayors and county commissions and so on. And I guess I would say that those local agreements, to my knowledge at least, are arrived at through a collective bargaining process that is entered into by local officials. A lot of meetings take place around this table. It's a round table. That's the one change I made in the office. I asked them to bring in this round table, because when you have a round table, there's no particular place of importance. Every space is equal to every other place.